Path of Exile 2 is too hard. The common feedback we've been hearing since the release of Dawn of the Hunt is that the game isn't hard, it's just a quote-unquote slog. I vehemently disagree with that interpretation.
Almost done with the campaign and it super sucks. It's not hard per se, it's just tedious.
You know, that feedback, which was just reiterated by Reddit drones like Moist Critical, is wrong and does not stand up to reality. I get that we all want to flex our EPing on the internet and not admit that certain things are hard and we're so much better than that. But if you don't think the game is hard, well, how about you roll a warrior on SSFHC and see how far you get, dude. The reality is the game is incredibly hard. And while I'm fine with difficult encounters from time to time, I don't want to consistently feel like I'm being pushed to the limits. I want to have at least 50% or more of my gameplay to be, a chill and grindy experience where I'm blasting mobs and facing pretty low resistance. Currently, only 5 to 10% of the gameplay is a chill or relaxing experience, with the other 90% of the time feeling like I'm being blasted in the ass. I think the core issue of PoE 2 is that the base mob types are too difficult. They have too many mechanics, they do too much damage, and are too oppressive. Monsters in PoE 2 are clearly being designed to have a lot going on, and I think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's fun when literally every monster has the capability of just owning you. Let's take the River Hag for an extreme example of this. Why does a literal generic white mob have mechanics and abilities that one-shot my character and make the environment around me unplayable? The mechanics of leaving that pool on the ground or, sending those bubbles should be reserved as boss mechanics, not like regular mechanics that we have to deal with while being swarmed by other mobs, like the big tree trunk guys whose slam will pretty much one-shot a character with no defense. It's not fun to constantly deal with mobs who are sending boss-like mechanics in your face. It's one of the reasons I don't find modern WoW raiding enjoyable. I don't care to constantly dodge around an arena for literally every single encounter, knowing if I get hit, I'm pretty much fucked. I want the majority of my gameplay to feel fun, and for me, these challenging mechanics on seemingly every white mob takes away from the fun of progressing through the game and making my character stronger. Path of Exile's 2 pacing, especially through the campaign, is brilliant. I really enjoy the scarcity because it does make for more memorable moments when you get those loot drops. However, the game is so difficult that instead of those loot moments, bringing a sense of joy and euphoria, those moments feel like a sense of relief because, hey, maybe I'll identify something that will make it so my ass is being less blasted for the next 10 levels, until my item becomes useless again. I think PoE 2 would be 100% more fun if they dumbed down every mob to make them more like stupid wandering skeletons that more or less sit there waiting for me to pound them in the ass. I want more of a grind, the namesake of your company, and less of a coked up Modern Warfare 2 experience where every moment feels like I could die. So, in summary, the pacing of PoE 2, especially the scarcity of items, the way you move through the game, not leap slamming to get everywhere from point A to point B, and the bosses are incredibly well balanced and really fun. They just need to make a way higher percent of the gameplay, like walking through the map zones and acts, more fun. In my opinion, the way they make that more fun is to have easier monsters who aren't constantly putting you on the edge of death. And since we're on the subject of getting fucked in the ass, what the fuck is this boss, bro? Look at this shit. I have 82% fire res. What the fuck? 82% fire res. I'm 10 levels above the zone. I have, what? Also, one last thing real quick. Fix your game, GGG. What's going on? I can't hit the fucking boss. The boss is bugged over the freaking shields, and I can't freaking hit him. Look at this shit. He's stuck. I like reset the gear, fix your game, GG. Anyway, the bugs are fine, and that's stuff you expect, in the early alpha experience. But the stuff that's really concerning to me, it's the just generic white mobs having way too many mechanics and fucking way too much ass. And so I really want to see just a smoother gameplay experience progressing through the acts, because man, those fucking white mobs suck.